Hey guys, how y'all doing today? Tyler here. Welcome to the 2-Tower Chimps Mode Challenge. You guys have probably seen this before, but you have not seen it with these 2 towers before. There have been actually a decent amount of combos that have come up that can beat Chimps Mode with 2 towers only. Especially lately, since a lot of tier 5 towers have been buffed. So that's been pretty exciting to see all the different variations and combos and all that. And this combo actually is not possible because of a tier 5 tower buff. It's possible because of an Obyn buff. Obyn has been overbuffed the shit out of in the past few updates, and honestly I think he's overpowered. Easily the most powerful hero in the game, blows Gwen out of the water just with the versatility and utility that this guy has. He is useful at all portions of the game without a doubt, and easily the most useful hero, like by far. Gwen does not even compare, especially after the nerf. I would say this is even stronger than pre-nerf Gwen. I think I would go that far. But anyways, the important part is, well, what are we going to use with Obyn? Now, before I talk about that, I want to just talk about the previous combos that have been done. The first ever 2-Tower Chimps combo that's ever been done was a reactor sub and a anti-balloon super monkey, a 250. That was a tough challenge. It's no longer possible because some stuff has been changed with the money you get from Chimps. And then next was the Apache Prime and Archmage combo, since both of those have been buffed pretty substantially. The Archmage plus Churchill never really worked out, but maybe it's still possible. I doubt it, though. I don't think it's strong enough. Then after that came the Wizard Lord Phoenix and Permaspike combo, since Permaspike's a very powerful tower and Wizard Lord Phoenix has been buffed the shit out of. Works pretty well. And then ISAB has also gotten a 2 Towers Chimps completion, but I'm not going to spoil it because I know he has not uploaded yet. And fifth but not least, we have my combos. You can sort of see it coming into place right now. We have Obyn and we have a Super Monkey. These are the only 2 towers I'm buying in Chimps mode, and I'm going to have to make it work. Now let me just say this is going to be a very tough challenge. A lot of micro, a lot of RNG, a lot of crazy shit that we needed to make happen. Now, with our Super Monkey, we don't actually know for sure what upgrades I'm going to go for just yet, and I'll get into that in a bit. But I just want to talk about how crazy it was that Obyn was just able to survive the first 17 rounds by himself, like how easily he sold that round. So he probably could solo for much longer too, which is absolutely nuts. Crazy dude. Now, obviously, we're going to be upgrading our Super Monkey. He is at Ultra Vision, and we're just getting that because it's very important that we have Camel Detection around 33. I think Brambles would have been fine on his own, but I guess it's best to be safe. Just have the Ultra Vision since we can afford it. Makes it really easy to beat round 33. Otherwise, I mean, Brambles could take care of it. Brambles took care of round 24, so it was all good there too. And we're just going to keep working on that damage. Obyn is on Strong for now, so it's our lead popping power, but we will put it back on the first later. And eventually we're going to get more and more upgrades on a Super Monkey. But I want to talk about the positioning of these guys right now. The positioning of these guys is extremely important. These towers have to be in practically these exact spots. The Super Monkey for sure cannot be moved. It has to 100% be there. You'll just see how important it is in later rounds that it's there. And the Obyn, I mean, it can be in a few different spots. Right. The one it's at right now, I believe, is the best one, and you'll see how important it is for the trees positioning, just for general positioning overall. And now we can actually see our Super Monkey is up to a Dark Knight, which enables us to take down the Moab very easily since it has extra damage against Moabs, and it has extra Pierce because Obyn grants +2 Pierce to Magic Towers, which means I can just coast with a 003 Dark Knight. Now, why am I not upgrading the guy, you might ask, since this guy is particularly good once you upgrade him to a 203. Well, it's very important right now that I leave him at 003 because there's a thing that exists that's called Camo Purple Balloons. Yeah, if I upgrade this Super Monkey anymore right now, it's not going to pop Camo Purple. So I need to keep it at 003, and thanks to Obyn's Pierce buff, I can actually make that work as a reasonable popping power tower. You can see I'm round 45 and also round 48 come Camo Purple Balloons that my Super Monkey needs to take down. Now, it's actually a pretty decent popping power tower, I have to say right now. It does pretty well, and for the first few rounds we don't really have too much of a trouble at all, but we are just coasting, and we do have to save up for Dark Champion eventually. That is a hell of a save up, and it's going to be a very difficult task. Obyn isn't really leveling up too much either. He doesn't even have his trees yet. He's not even close to that, unfortunately, and that is a big disappointment for us because that makes some of the rounds much harder than they should be, especially this first round right here, round 49, the first truly difficult round. Now, the main hard part is just all the ceramics. Just make sure you have the popping power for that, and then, in addition to ceramic popping power, making sure that you do not create a Regal Rainbow farm with your Super Monkey. You have to make sure that you actually focus the fire on these Regal Rainbow balloons, make sure they don't get out of control, and with the combined pop power of the Obyn and Super Monkey, that you do destroy it. So obviously you do want Obyn on first at this point, because otherwise Regal Farm would get out of hand like crazy, and we were able to take down 49, but it did take a couple of tries. But after getting through round 49, we have smooth sailing for a little bit of time, and we're still actually not upgrading the plasma on that Super Monkey. It's very important that we leave it as is, because there is a round still that we're gonna want our purple balloon popping power abilities to come in. Now, Wall of Trees actually will not cut it either, so that's just really going to be important for us to be able to do this. And that round isn't anytime soon, but the hard part is just making it past the 50s with enough firepower. Now I want to talk about this Dark Knight positioning right now. It's just a good position in the center of the map, but what's nice about it is that it's low enough so that it can catch the leaking balloons very, very well. If it's shooting at leaking balloons, there's going to be nothing obstructing it. There's nothing going to be cock blocking it, and you're going to see how important that is as it goes on. Now we're on to our next hard round, around 55. This one just takes a few extra tries. It might be tempting to take your Obyn and spend the $500 it takes to upgrade this guy to the Wall of Trees, because he's actually very close. You'll see once we beat this round, we do unlock the Wall of Trees, and that's just how close we are to it. But you do not want to spend that money. Do not spend that money if you are to try this. You just have to rely on Obyn and Super Monkey to defeat the massive ceramic cluster, and you need some decent totem position as well to slow it down. It's not super RNG dependent, but it is possible to fuck up. Just retry it if it gets bad. And then after that, we do unlock the Wall of Trees, but we do not want to be using it yet. There are some important mid rounds that we're going to want to time this on, and there's some positioning we're going to want out of the Wall of Trees that is also important, and we're going to want to be able to try and get it until we get it, so we're not going to want to launch it just yet. But once round 59 starts, we launch our trees, because you might notice we don't actually have consistent Camel Lead popping power. While my 003 Super Monkey pops Camel Purples, it does not pop Camel Lead, so you need the trees for that. Now, it's important that the trees land somewhere near the beginning, because obviously you want to pop the Camel Leads as soon as possible, but more importantly, you do not want the regen ceramics to get out of hand. If you're trying to shoot at the Camel Leads but they're cock blocked, you'll do like some minuscule damage to the regen ceramics, and then they'll become a lot more regen ceramics, and then they'll overwhelm your trees. You want to keep your trees as healthy as possible, and I have to say this position was a godsend, because these balloons that were popped by my Super Monkey just now did not go in the trees. That's extremely important, because round 61 needs to have relatively healthy trees, or at least for a little bit, because these are regen zebra balloons. You do not want those to get out of hand. A regrow farm can be really easy if your tree positioning ends up being shit. So thankfully that worked out really well for us. That could have ended up very poorly for me, but thankfully the previous tree positioning was good and this tree position was good. And now the round that we've been saving our 003 Super Monkey for, round 62. There's like 200 something purple balloons, and as you can see, our trees just ran out, so we were not going to be able to rely on that. Now maybe if we got the Super Monkey ahead of time, there was a chance that, you know, we could have beat round 61 just fine without the trees and had the tree solo 62, but I didn't want to risk it. Now, obviously we upgraded to Super Monkey mid-round, but that was only after we finally got through all of the purple balloons. Now that we got through all that, we can get a 203 Super Monkey, because we were going to need it for round 63. We have our trees up and ready. We're going to have to get ready to take on this round, because this round is tough if you do not have trees, and if you do not have the 203 Super Monkey. It's okay to use the trees for like the first wave of ceramics, because you just want to have it go on right away, so you can focus the entire length on the map on the last two waves of ceramics. Just use the length of logs to your advantage, and take the massive amount of time it takes for balloons to reach the exit, to just spend all that time popping these ceramic balloons, and you should be generally fine. Still kind of tight, still pretty close, not gonna lie. It's still scary with balloons getting close to the end, but it's alright. Super Monkey coming in clutch, beating round 63 just like that. And now that we've beaten round 63, we actually have a bit of a break, obviously. I mean, thankfully these rounds aren't too bad, but it's actually kind of a bad thing that these rounds are easy. That means not too many balloons come. That means we don't get that much money. We need money because we need a tier 4 super monkey, because for a lot of reasons. Obviously, tier 4 super monkey pops a lot more, does a lot more layers of damage, and it also pops purple balloons. You thought after round 62 we were out of the woods with purple balloons. Nah, I don't think so. Purple balloons are still absolutely going to be a threat, and it is going to be scary. So we're going to want those that Dark Champion. It costs $64,500 or maybe a little bit more, almost $65,000. And let me just say, these rounds do not provide the money for it. We may be at like 41,000, almost 42,000 now, but it is going to take a long time to earn the money that we so please. All right, now that we've made it to round 74, we begin the most difficult stretch of the challenge. Now this, if you want to get through these next few rounds, everything has to go right. It has to be absolutely perfect. So we still cannot afford our Dark Champion. We're not even close. And round 76 is on the horizon. This is the round I'm scared of because there's so many fortified ceramics and the trees cannot soul them. One set of trees does not soul around 76. Even if it's like in the best position at the beginning and there isn't like a regrow farm that happens, the trees are not enough and what's left does not clean it up, as crazy as that is. So you need to have everything go right. Now, getting this down is the hardest part. So this took hours. This is the reason I did not stream this challenge, because I needed to try this again and again and again and again until I literally got this perfect. It was super tedious. So here's the idea. I need to have a set of trees down going into round 76 in a good position. The way Obyn's position gives me a chance for the trees to be in the god spot, which is right there. It has to be early enough in the track so the super monkey does not hit them, but also in the not on an intersection, so that it does not get filled up too easily. Now that takes a lot of tries because it's completely RNG. Any track that he touches, he can throw his trees on. So we have to try again and again and again until we get that down. Then, after we get the trees down perfect the first time, we're going to have round 76 start, and we need to have the trees up, available to use right away, so that we can immediately replace them after they get taken down by the regrow ceramics. And those trees also have to land in a good spot. So with all that considered, it's a massive RNG fest. Now, to make things worse, I realized that, holy shit, if I place my trees down at the start of round 75, I will not have the ability ready for the start of round 76 again. And that's a problem because that increases the time it takes for me to do this thing by a shit ton. Now, instead of placing my first set of trees at the start of round 75, I have to place it at the end of round 74, which takes a long time. This round takes like a fat minute at least. So I have to wait until the last bit of ceramics come to place my first set of trees in hopes that it works out. And if they don't end up in the right spot, then I simply have to try again, go through the whole round, and then wait to see until they finally end up in a decent spot. And then obviously I have to wait for round 76 for me to put my second set of trees in the right spot as well. It took me about 2 hours total to finally get both sets of trees in actual decent spots and finally hold off round 76. This was the only possible way we were going to beat this round. Maybe we could have spent some money on Obyn, but I don't even think they would have gotten us there, and that definitely would not have helped us in the long run. You ought to see. But that was absolutely nuts, absolutely stressful and annoying. Like, the amount of times I made it to round 76 only to have trees be dudded in a shit spot was just stupid. So now, as you can see, the set of 2 trees does in fact take down round 76. So now that we're moving on past round 76, we're still not out of the woods yet. We got 60,000 in cash just sitting around here, collecting dust, not doing anything. And I need that Dark Champion still. And you know how badly I need this Dark Champion? Round 78 is coming up soon. That's a scary round. It's got 2 massive ceramic clusters, and it has purple balloons on top of all of that. So if I don't have the Dark Champion, I literally cannot beat round 78. It's just not going to happen. And as you can see, cutting the corners for every single in every single way. It was very important. That's why I couldn't spend $500 on Obyn. Now, I really wish I could have gotten away with not spending the money on Plasma Dark Knight, but it had to be done. There was no way I was beating the rounds otherwise. It 100% had to be done this way. So round 76 is a joke, but round 78 is coming in. It's going to be hard. The first wave of ceramics has like 70 of them. So I'm going to plop down trees right away because I'm hoping to get multiple uses out of the trees. If you want your chance to be good as possible, you want to throw down the trees at the start of round 78. But either way, it swallows the ceramic wave whole, actually, which is really nice. And it's still up, which might give me a little bit of hope. But we're not quite out of the woods yet. We still have to deal with the BFB, which is fine. It's just the BFB, right? No biggie. But wait for it. Wait for it. Here comes the purple balloons to cock block everything. Now that purple balloons are coming in, I'm not popping balloons unless if I put my super monkey as strong. He's beyond strong right now just so I can get the last $100 of cash to get this Dark Champion. And now that I finally have the Dark Champion in the nick of time, I'm able to take down the purple balloons. I'm able to take down the last wave of Camel Ceramics. And somehow, miraculously, I'm able to get out of that scenario alive. Round 78 is done for. That is one of the last hard rounds. But we haven't even made it to the 90s yet. Usually people are scared of 95, 98, 99, 100. So let's not consider this a sweet, sweet victory just yet. But for now, we can chill. All I can do at this point is just spend my money on upgrading Obyn. Granted, Obyn will upgrade himself naturally to level 20 by the important rounds, but I might as well put my money into him just to make it easier for myself. And that's really all I'm going to do. And these next few rounds are really just going to be a piece of cake. They are so much a piece of cake that I'm just literally skipping forward around 95. There was no points of micro in those rounds whatsoever. I just launched the brambles, but even that wasn't important. Now here we go, first hard round 95, or first hard 90s round rather. You need to have your Dark Champion on strong here, otherwise you will lose. This took me a couple tries to get right, but it is very important that it just gets done. And not only does your Dark Champion need to be on strong, you need to have impeccable tree timing and a decent lucky drop as well. You cannot be launching those trees right away. You gotta be launching them more at the end of the round just so they can get like the last few DDTs rather than the first few. Get everything right and retarget your Dark Champion from strong to first, and you're able to take down round 95 just fine. Again, that did take me a couple of tries. First round in the wild that did so, but that's not too big a deal. Now, moving forward. Round 70 or 96 is also actually a piece of cake. Surprisingly, rather. Because it's a lot of balloons, it could look pretty scary. But if we cannot get past this easily, then 98 is just going to be terrifying. Because it's just a mini round 98. So this round and round 97 ended up just being pretty big jokes. But now, back to the hard rounds. Here comes round 98. Now, actually, surprisingly, this round's not too hard as long as you just remember to keep your guys on first. It's not like they're DDTs where they're super strong, super fast dudes. They're hard to target down. The fact that the BFBs and ZMGs are slow give me a lot more time to deal my damage, but I'm still going to take this slow, take it real easy. Going to be activating brambles frequently, and I'm not going to be activating trees just yet. I'm going to be waiting for later to use trees because I want to use it on the fortified moabs and the fortified ceramics to slurp all those up, because otherwise my Dark Champion just might get overwhelmed from the massive wave of fortified moabs and ceramics that get stacked on top of each other. And this round in particular, you will see how important this Dark Champion positioning is. His cleanup is just absolutely impeccable. Now we launch our trees here, which seems like kind of a shit spot. Now it did swallow up some moabs, and it actually is kind of a shit spot. There's just no way around it. It is a shit spot, but it swallowed some moabs, and if we did pop the moabs, it'll swallow some ceramics as well. But it doesn't really come down to it, and actually super ceramics are just going by it. So it's basically full of trees. It basically served this purpose, but swallowed up a lot of the fortified moab portion, and it made it so I didn't get overwhelmed and die. And now that everything's just being taken down to VFBs and moabs and all the fortified stuff is gone, this should be easy, right? Well, it's looking scary. A lot of the super ceramics coming to the exit there, but thankfully my Dark Champion barely edges out the popping power. A lot of thanks to Obyn too for that +2 Pierce. Without him, this literally would not have been possible. We take down round 98 just fine. Now, round 99 is definitely harder than 98 for this challenge. You need Obyn and your Super Monkey both on strong, and you're going to need lucky trees working out for you. Keep those guys on strong, although I think Obyn's on first, since Obyn himself doesn't detect camos anyways, so he's not going to actually pop DDTs. Now, keep that Batman guy on strong, keep activating more trees to swallow up the later banded DDTs, and barely, miraculously, we're able to get that slow with the combination of Obyn's totems and the knockback of the Dark Champion. Holy shit, we're able to get past round 99. One more round. The BAD. Now, thankfully, this guy is relatively easy. It gets close. Oh boy, does it get close. But this guy ends up being a lot easier than like the mid rounds in round 95, for example. We end up beating this first try. So basically, this is a 2 towers chimps challenge. This is the first time I ever ended up beating chimps mode with 2 towers. Again, the Churchill and Archmage just did not work out, but this was super exciting to pull off, especially with the Hero plus Super Monkey. Crazy challenge. Just everything about Obyn ended up being useful here. The brambles, the slow, the extra pierce, the Super Monkeys, the trees, his good early game popping power. This guy was just an all-around beast, and obviously my Dark Champion was just a solid tower too. It seems like to be the only magic tower that is able to work with Obyn for this challenge because it provides good camo detection and has general good popping power overall. Still, very tough challenge. 76 is a pain in the ass if you guys want to try this. It's not going to be black bordered if anyone was wondering. And that's basically it. This setup actually does die on round 101, by the way. Just want to point that out. But otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed the crazy challenge. This was a lot of fun to pull off. Maybe I'll find some other combos in the future. There is one other combo I'm working on right now, but round 98 is a bitch and requires a lot of micro. I've gotten so close to being able to beat round 98, but I'm just not quite there. Maybe it'll work out in the future. But otherwise, thanks you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you all with the next challenge video. Peace out.